I used to think love was sacrifice. Not compromise, not teamwork, sacrifice. I thought if I loved her enough, gave enough, forgave enough, stayed patient enough, then eventually everything would work out. So I gave and gave and gave. I gave my time when I was exhausted. I gave my energy when I had none left. I gave my attention when my own life was falling apart. If she needed me, I was there. If she was upset, I dropped everything. If she wanted something, I found a way. At first, it felt good. It felt noble. It felt like I was being a good man, a strong man, a loving man. What I didn't realize was that every time I ignored my own needs to satisfy hers, I was teaching her something. I was teaching her that my boundaries didn't matter because I had none. I was teaching her that my time wasn't valuable because I treated it like it wasn't. I was teaching her that I would accept anything because I did. The scary thing about losing yourself isn't that it happens overnight. It's so slow you don't notice. One day, you're making small compromises. The next day, you're rearranging your entire life around someone else's emotions. Then one morning, you wake up and realize you don't even recognize the person you've become. My friends saw it before I did. You've changed. You never come out anymore. You always look stressed. I laughed it off because I thought that's what commitment looked like. I thought being a good boyfriend meant putting yourself last. I was wrong. The more I abandoned myself, the less confident I became. The less confident I became, the more approval I needed. The more approval I needed, the more desperate I became. And desperation is a dangerous thing because eventually you stop asking yourself what you want. You only ask what they want. I became terrified of upsetting her, terrified of disagreement, terrified of saying no. Every decision became about keeping the peace. And for a while, I thought I was succeeding. There were no fights, no arguments, no major problems. But something felt different. Something felt off. The attraction started fading. The respect started fading. The relationship felt heavier and heavier. At the time, I couldn't understand why. I was giving her everything. Wasn't that what she wanted? Years later, I finally understood. People don't fall in love with someone who has no identity. They fall in love with someone who stands on their own feet. Someone who has standards. Someone who has direction. Someone who can say yes when they mean yes and no when they mean no. I wasn't that guy anymore. I had become a shadow, a man whose entire personality revolved around keeping someone else happy. And eventually, she left. Just like that, after everything, after all the sacrifices, after all the sleepless nights, after all the energy I poured into us, she left. I wish I could tell you I handled it well. I didn't. I was destroyed, completely. The woman I had built my world around was gone. But the truth was even worse. She wasn't the only thing I lost. I had lost myself long before she walked away. I remember sitting alone in my room one night. Silence everywhere. No texts, no calls, no distractions. Just me. For the first time in years, I had nobody to save, nobody to chase, nobody to fix. And that's when I realized something. The relationship had ended. But my real problem wasn't losing her. My real problem was that I had no idea who I was without her. That realization hurt more than the breakup, because it was true. I had abandoned my goals, abandoned my hobbies, abandoned my confidence, abandoned my self-respect. I had spent so much time trying to become the perfect man for her that I forgot to become a man for myself. So I started over, slowly, painfully. one day at a time. I started going to the gym, not because I wanted revenge, because I needed discipline. I started reading, learning, building, growing. I started saying no when I meant no. At first, it felt uncomfortable. Then it felt powerful. I stopped apologizing for having boundaries. I stopped apologizing for needing space. I stopped apologizing for having standards. Then something strange happened. The stronger I became, the less I needed validation. The less validation I needed, the more confident I became. The more confident I became, the happier I became. For the first time in years, I felt free. Not because I found someone new, because I found myself again. Today, when I look back, I don't hate her. I don't even blame her. She didn't break me. My refusal to value myself did that. She simply exposed it. She exposed the consequences of living without boundaries, of confusing sacrifice with love, of mistaking people-pleasing for kindness, of believing that being a good man meant accepting anything. Now I understand. Love is not about giving someone every piece of yourself until nothing remains. Love is not about abandoning your standards. Love is not about making another person your entire world. Real love requires self-respect. Because when you respect yourself, you protect your time, you protect your peace, you protect your identity. And when you protect those things, you become someone capable of loving without losing yourself. The man I am today is not the man she left. That man was afraid to say no, afraid to walk away, afraid to disappoint people. This man isn't. This man has boundaries. This man has purpose. This man has self-respect. And the funny thing is, the breakup I thought would destroy my life ended up saving it. Because losing her forced me to find the one person I should have never abandoned in the first place. Myself.